quite see everybody, so I'm not 100% if she's here, but Beth Peters is our head of school. Mark Thompson, he is our assistant head of school. He's here waving. We've got Robin Hooser. She is our director of advancement. She's also in charge of communication, so she's here. We've got Tara Brown. She's our registrar, and she is here with us. And Sarah Bradley, she is helping me host, and she's also our guidance counselor. And if y'all have any questions as I'm going through this, then you can just type them in the chat, and she will help field some of those. And also, we can have a session of question and answer at the end of the presentation. So welcome to Greenfield, and we will get started. So the mission of Greenfield, we are a non-sectarian private independent school, is to promote the development of the total student. We do this through academics, socially, through leadership, extracurricular activities, community service, aesthetically through fine arts, physically through athletics and PE, and morally through the affirmation of honesty, integrity, responsibility, tolerance, and the American ideals of freedom and democracy. So the first day of school, Monday, August 17th, it's a noon dismissal. So make sure that we all know to pick up at 12. The drop off, pick up carpool line. This is new for all of us, returning and new students. We're doing things a little bit differently this year. So you will drop off in the morning. If you are in the preschool 4-year-olds, you will go to the building which is at the road. If you are in preschool, then you will come to the preschool building, and you'll get out and take your child in. And then K through 4th, you will come straight down the main entrance road and go to the back where the cafeteria is and drop off there. If you'll pull all the way up so that we can get multiple children out of the vehicles, then that would be great. If you are having any kind of an issue with a child that might be hesitant to get out of the car first thing, if you'll pull up all the way to the soccer goals and park in that grass. 5th through 12th grade, you'll come around the traffic circle in the front, and you will be dropped off at right here where the Language Center building is. And please pull forward again to let as many children out as possible. We are, because of COVID, we are asking you to only use the drop-off line this year. We know that for preschoolers and kindergartners, that might be too much to ask, but if you are first up, we will have lots of teachers, lots of assistants, lots of folks to help you get out of the car in the mornings. And then there are some new procedures that I'll talk about that on the COVID slide. Our daily schedule, so 8 is late. That's a good way to remember it. So we're 8 to 2:45 for kindergarten. We're 8 to 2:50 through 1st through 4th, and that pickup is, the pickup and the drop off are in the same place. So if you dropped off in front of the big circle, or if you dropped off in front of the cafeteria, then you'll pick up in the same place you dropped off. And it's 8 to 3, 5th through 12th. So the things that we're doing differently this year because of COVID, you will get tickets. They're health attestation, but we're going to just call them health tickets. You will get a notepad of those on the first day of school, and it basically asks those 3 questions that I'm sure all of y'all have been asked before anytime you go somewhere public. So it asks, do you have any symptoms? Have you been exposed to anybody with COVID? And have you had a fever? Just those 3 basic questions. The children need to bring those with them, just 1 ticket every day. That first day, they'll be handed out in homeroom. But the rest of the days, they need to hop out of the car with that, signed by you as a parent. Our middle school and up children can sign it themselves, but we are going to require those to be handed in before they enter a building every morning. And so that's our daily health screening, and you'll get those forms on the first day of school. Also, we will have temperature checks every morning for all of our kids. So The 4-year-old teachers will test those, it will take the temperatures of those kids every morning. The preschool will have their own station set up in the preschool when you walk in. But for the K through 4th students, when they get dropped off back behind the cafeteria, they will just walk in a line through the cafeteria doors, and we have one of those temperature sensors, so they can really just walk by and it'll just say normal, as in normal temperature. And if it's high, then we'll pull them and we'll do a more manual temperature. The same will be true for 5th through 12th grade that drop off in the morning up here at the main traffic circle. They'll walk in our language center building to get the temperature check, and they'll just walk by, and if it's normal and they have their ticket, then they can proceed on to the classroom. The students that are driving, they'll park down there by the student, by the cafeteria where the student parking lot is, and they will also walk through the cafeteria. So those temperature checks will be every morning. If it's high, then we will call you, or try to hold you up actually in the drop-off line before you drive away, just for your convenience. The masks should be worn in kindergarten through 12th grade. We were originally hoping that we would only wear the masks while we were unable to social distance, but the CDC has come out with new guidelines saying that they should pretty much be worn all day. Obviously, eating, drinking, playing outside, running around, when they're appropriately socially distanced, then that's a different story. We're going to let our kids breathe and get fresh air, absolutely. But we are asking that students have masks and they wear them pretty much all day, unless the teacher gives them permission not to. And we are continuing to follow all health department and CDC guidance. We do have a healthcare professional. She's got her nursing degree and she is working with us here at Greenfield. And so if there are any issues, if someone gets sick midday, they will go straight to her and she will handle all the records and all of the things that come up, the tracing, all of that, and she will be in charge of that, working closely with our health department. The cafeteria. So this is our cafeteria. Students who choose to purchase lunch should order online the night before or the week before. And we're going to show you how to do that in a minute. Please include drinks and sides. Everything is packaged to go. So when your child goes to lunch, there will literally be a to-go box with their name on it, including drinks, chips, everything. We're trying to eliminate, the contact of walking through the cafeteria line and touching the apples and grabbing the chips and all of that. So the cafeteria workers will package all of that up, and when it's their lunchtime, they will go grab it and be able to go sit down and eat. K through 4th will eat in their classrooms, so the assistants will get their lunches and take to their classrooms. So just when you're ordering lunch, make sure that you order everything, drinks, chips, everything that you want to purchase for lunch. Payment for school lunch and breakfast. If you're in 5th up, we do have a break. And so when I say breakfast, that's what I mean. It's at 9 or 9:45, depending on your grade. That payment can be done through fax, or if you'd like to send in a cash or check, just mark it in an envelope and send it in with your child. They'll give it to their homeroom teacher and get it to the office. So you can pay any way you feel comfortable. The lunch menus are found on fax under the family portal. When you have $15 or under for your child's lunch account, you'll get an alert. It'll come through your fax email. So everything is done through our fax system. So make sure your email is up to date and correct in there so that you will get all the information from us. And so it'll say, Sally's got $15 left on her lunch account. And so just make sure you add some more. For kids that are in 5th grade up, we do have that break or breakfast. That has to be pre-ordered the day before by 2 o'clock. It cannot be ordered in the mornings at school. Now, if you forget, if you're like me, I've got 3 wild boys, and one night I promise you I'm going to forget to order their lunch. If I forget to order their lunch online the night before, their homeroom teacher can add it that morning. So we're not going to let anybody go hungry. But the breakfast does have to be pre-ordered the day before. Now we're going to let Ms. Brown, Tara Brown is our registrar. If you have any questions about fax, she is the person that you need to call. And she is going to come in. She's going to share her screen. and tell y'all about how to do the cafeteria and order online, and also just general information about facts. Ms. Brown?
That might help, sorry. Can you see that screen, Ms. Powell?
Yes, Renweb.
Okay, so parents, when you want to order lunch for your children, you will log into your FACTS account, which you have set up this account when you did your online enrollment. But if you have forgotten your login or anything, I can help you with that. But what you'll do is, RenWeb is the old database. So they still have the website called renweb.com, but now it's really called FACTS. So when you hear your children come home and say, I need to check my homework on FACTS or order lunch, this is what they're talking about. Let me back that up a little bit. Only 5th through 12th grade, their homework will be on FACTS, but lower school will be utilizing FACTS more. So let me log in for the parent side first. So we'll go to renweb.com and we'll click on the parents web. The district code is always GS for Greenfield School, North Carolina. And then username is usually your first name and your last name with the dot in the middle. And then let me put in my password. And then I'm going to click on parent and log in. This is how your portal will look. It's green on the left-hand side. And here, if I click on classes, you can see the classes that my son is taking right now. If I scroll down on the left-hand side under student and click on homework, you can see his homework. And already he has a paragraph to write, which is, I think Ms. Kramer put this up there as a test because it looks like it's August 12th. So we'll scroll down to the lunch. And here you will see if you have multiple children, you would toggle right here, but I just have one. So we'll create a web order. And here you can look at it a classic way or collapsible. I like the collapsible. And as you can see, it already says Noah $19.75 because we've already ordered lunch for the first week of school. So the lunch items, they have the prices here. He is in 6th grade, so he can get breakfast. Here you would just put in, if he wanted a chicken biscuit, you would just add it right here and it's automatically saved. Here he wanted a small meal. This after home lunch right here, after the breakfast, home lunch, it says large, and that's the meal, the cooked meal for the day. So it's ham and cheese subs that day, and he chose a small meal. A small meal is usually 1 sandwich. A large meal means 2 sandwiches. If it's pizza day, which it is always on Wednesday, a small meal of pizza is 1 slice. Let me go down and show you that. Let's see, he chose right here. A large meal of pepperoni pizza is 2 slices. So right here's the prices for everything. And once you click on the quantity, it automatically saves and it tells you a total. So he spent $23 for the first week of school. And then now I want to show you switch to, I'm going to log out of this, my side of the portal, and log into the student side of the portal. Your students will be given their logins the first week of school, and their schedules will all be in their cubbies the first day of school. And I'm going to click student for him. Here I can see, again, I can see his homework that is posted, his grades that are posted. As soon as a teacher puts in a grade for a subject, I can toggle right here to math. I can see it posted. And you can see right here that Ms. Smith has already put in his homework at 30%, quizzes 30%, tests 40%. So if there's any behavior issues, they would be posted here. And lunch, you have to go into the parent portal to order lunch. I want to scroll down. This is a new feature to RenWeb. And for the first time, the student may have to log in twice. But once they log in, it should come right up for LMS, which is Learning Management System. And then here it will show all of his classes that he's taking for 6th grade. And this is what everyone's going to use to show what is going on in the class, like the everything that they're learning, the class wall. It's kind of like Google Classroom, but we're using this as part of FACTS. So if there was a scenario where we had to do distance learning from home, we would still use this platform at home or here at school. So everything would be here. And right here you can see Ms. Kramer has already posted her syllabus for her class for language arts. So you would just be able to click in there and look. So FACTS is just a one-stop shop. It houses everything, houses information. You can go into the parent portal again and make changes of car pickup, information to your students' medical records. If they start taking a medication, you need us to know about it. Or if they have developed an allergy to something. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Of course, my email is tara.brown@greenfieldschool.org. Anything else, Ms. Powell, I need to cover?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay. Can y'all see my screen? Can you see my, Ms. Brown, can you see my communication screen? Okay. Okay, so we are, the communications, I know it's in all caps here. It's, if you're following along with your PowerPoint that I sent, or if you can see the screen, please make sure that your email address is correct. In fact, like we said, it's for lunch, grades, homework, communications through us, everything. We also communicate with text, email, voicemail. All of that is, if you have any questions about that, you can contact Robin Hooser. And that new student parent guide that you've been given, that's a great resource for who to call if you have questions. Our website, greenfieldschool.org, is user-friendly. We have an app that you can download by going to School News by Edlio, and then there's a little blue button, like the blue icon. Nightline is a very great, it's a good source of information. It's emailed out every Sunday. Make sure you check your spam so that it doesn't, you don't miss anything. And if you're not getting it, let Ms. Hooser know. And so read Nightline every week to just stay updated on any events that are upcoming. We also have lots of social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have our Greenfield School Parent Forum on Facebook. News alerts like school closings will pop up on our app. and you'll receive text and voicemails if your numbers are correct in fax. Ways to get involved. The Greenfield Volunteer Organization is kind of a bridge between the parents and the faculty and staff here. Our president is Dana Corson, and her email is in this PowerPoint. And then also we have the Booster Club, which is our athletic support club, and that is Crystal Kirby is the president there. We usually do the annual Christmas tournament, volunteer at the gate and concessions during home games, and then we have the chicken plate sale, which raises a lot of money for our boosters every fall. Of course, with everything in the state of things that we're in, that will all be, we'll see if we open, we'll see if we have the chicken plate sale. Right now, I know we're not having concessions, but in normal times, then that's a great way to get involved. And you can find out more information about that through Nightline if we do start opening things back up. Upcoming events, we do have September 2nd scheduled for back to school night. I'm not sure if that is still going to happen. That's just a time that the parents come and meet the teachers. We might have to get creative and do another Zoom for that. October 16th, we have homecoming scheduled for our varsity soccer teams. Details will be made available later about that too. We're still hoping to be able to have that, but not sure how it's going to look this year, but we'll be in touch. Just follow us on all of our communications to make sure you know what's going on there. And that's it. Welcome to Greenfield family. I know y'all might have had some questions along the way. Sarah Bradley again is our host for this, so she might want to jump in. Sarah, do we have any questions? Anything that's good for the good of the group?
Several folks asked questions in the chat just about facts. I encourage, if you guys have questions about facts, to reach out to Tara Brown. I included her email in there. She's a great resource, and she's usually very quick at getting back with y'all. And she's kind of our facts expert, and so she's your girl for that. They were asking about schedules. You can see that in the parent section as well as the student section. We are not serving lunch on that first day of school, just as a reminder, so don't bring lunch. Students will eat off campus at home, but then every day after that, obviously, unless it's a half day, we'll be doing lunch. And then someone asked about drop-off time. Drop-off time starts at 7:30, and they can actually be in their homeroom at 7:30, but they would obviously go through the temperature checks first. And then we encourage you to try to get here before 7:50, 7:55, simply because, like Ms. Powell said, 8 o'clock is late, and so with the new temperature checks and the new protocols, we might have a little bit of time before the kids, they can't just, sprint from their car to homeroom. They're going to have to go through some things before they get there. So someone just asked, are we still able to drop off supplies today until 2 and see the classrooms? Yes. We did ask that you guys do that by last name, the first half of the alphabet today, second half tomorrow, but if it just doesn't work in your schedule, we're pretty flexible. It's floating. And so we have Student Government Association officers who are directing the parents and students as they come on campus to where your classroom will be, where you can drop off your supplies. The teachers should be in and out of their rooms throughout the day. Some of us do have meetings, but you're welcome to drop off your supplies, and students should have a cubby with their name. There should be a sticker in there with your name on it. Do we drop stuff off at each class? That's a great question. You do not, actually. You're going to drop it off in your cubby in your homeroom. So I have a 6th grade student, for example, who has some specialty classes like art. I'm not going to go to the art room with her 24 pack of markers. I'm just going to send all of her supplies to her homeroom. And then the homeroom teachers next week will help the students get the things where they need to be. So don't worry about that. Is there anything special they're supposed to wear on the first day? Historically, we do this big assembly in the gym. We all get a little dressed up, but we are not doing that this year because of the state of where we are. So you just wear what you are comfortable in. If you feel like dressing up, dress up. If you don't, it's okay. Wear what you are comfortable in. What else? Will the bus from Clayton be running on the first day? Ms. Powell, jump in if I'm wrong, but to my knowledge, yes, the bus to Clayton will run every day. We would obviously let you guys know ahead of time if for some reason that was not the case.
The bus from Clayton, Willie, the bus driver, and if you don't know him, you will know him. He is lovable. He will take everybody's temperature upon entering the bus, and he will also take the tickets. So if you could just wait in the parking lot to make sure your child doesn't have a fever and they've got their health attestation ticket, then that would be great before he pulls off.
Someone asked, will the remote students be able to see the other students? Yes. So in the spring, when we went virtual, we had this schedule where we only had certain classes on certain days, and that's just not how we're going to do it this year. If you are electing to be virtual, or if you need to quarantine or be at home for a little while, or if your class needs to be home for a little while, we are asking that students are on their computer in a Zoom with their class throughout the day, just like they would be if they were on campus. So log in to homeroom at 8 o'clock, hear the announcements, hear what's going on campus, and all the things that you need to know about, and then you would log into your first period class all the way through the rest of the day. If it's a lower school student, they would log into their second grade classroom, and they would get the exact same instruction. They'd be able to see the other students, and the other students would be able to see them. They can speak to the students, they can ask questions in the chat. We want this to be as inclusive as possible and for them to get as much education as we can, even if we're at home. We do have some rules for students who are home. You need to get dressed, no jammies, and you need to be sitting at a desk or a table, not in the bed. But other than that, we're trying to make sure that they get everything that the students on campus get. So how do you join the virtual meeting? If you are electing to stay home, you'll be receiving emails from your teachers. Like, make sure that you have let Mrs. Peters know that you are added to that list to be in the virtual program. If this is a situation where the class has gone home for a quarantine type of situation, then the teacher would send that out. Regardless, you should be getting some information from your teacher before that first day with how to log in so that you can see the instruction for the first day. So I cannot stress this enough. I'm a parent here, but I also work here. I know we send a lot of emails, but we like to communicate with you guys, and we try to make sure that the emails that we send are the nuts and bolts and what is really important. So please, 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 parents and students, we really encourage you to be checking your email every day, because especially with the current state of affairs that we are in our country, like, things can change fairly quickly. And so we want to make sure that you guys have the most up-to-date information. I will also say that make sure that you have signed up with Robin Hoosier with your cell phone number, your email address through fax, so that you get all the emergency alerts. Like, let's say we have a normal emergency, like a snow day, you would get a text. Anytime that happens, I get a text, an email, and a phone call. So there's no way I can miss that message. And that's nice. We like to over communicate because we know we live in a crazy world sometimes, and we're all very, very busy with our jobs and families and everything else. And so just make sure that we have your most up-to-date contact information. If you change your email, if you change your phone number, if you move, which happens obviously, you can actually log into your fax account and edit all of that information yourself. We don't need to change that for you. Just please make sure that you've done that, because if not, we're going to continue to send information to that old information.
And let me jump in and say, if you do change your contact information, please send an email to Tara that you have changed it, because I won't know that. It doesn't alert me. Just always let Ms. Brown know if you change those things so that she can distribute that information to folks like me who need that contact information, because I do not go into fax every day and update my email list, because that would be a lot every day. So just please let us know if you do change those contact numbers or email.
I've got some information. I had a question about dress code. Good gracious. Dress code. The rules basically, and it's in the handbook, which is online, but the basic rule is to dress appropriately. Make sure that you can see shorts. So like Nike shorts with big t-shirts, make sure that we can see your shorts. Nothing inappropriate, alcohol, drugs, anything like that on any t-shirts. But generally, a lot of our kids dress in pretty athletic clothes throughout the day. Yeah, this picture that you see that we're looking at, those kids have on khaki shorts and khaki pants because it was assembly dress. So if we ever go back to having assemblies, We will ask the kids not to dress athletically for that day, just because we just try to dress nice. But that to wear tennis shoes, you just can't wear like athletic shorts and t-shirts. I've got some more information. Your parents' login on Facts is actually whatever you selected it to be, not necessarily first name, last name. And the question about Zooming in the classroom, you will see the front of the room. It's going to be a camera mounted, and before we get all these cameras in the classrooms, it might be a Zoom. So that you should be able to see some students, but not necessarily all the students. You know, it's not going to be like an aerial view of the whole room. You'll see the front of the room and the teacher, but you can certainly be involved. If you have a Zoom question, if you're on a Zoom with or in the class, then you ought to be able to raise your hand and ask it, like kind of like we're doing right now, if y'all were not all muted. Ms. Bradley, any more questions that you've had?
The only other thing that I would say with dress code is if you have a PE class, we ask that you dress in whatever you're gonna do gym class in. We are not using the locker rooms for a while because we don't want a whole group of students in there changing every gym class. And so if you have PE scheduled for that day, just make sure that the students wear whatever they can go to gym in.
Any other questions, Ms. Bradley, for the group? Okay, and the last thing is thank y'all so much for your interest in Greenfield. Obviously, none of us have lived through a pandemic before, and so we're asking for your patience. We're going to do whatever we can, all the measures that we can possibly do to keep everybody on campus. We believe in on-campus learning. We're going to try to avoid going back to virtual learning, and so help us with the little screening tickets in the morning. Be patient if the drop-off line is backed up because we're taking temperatures. Encourage your children to bring a mask and to not fight us too hard on wearing those. We, of course, want all the fresh air we can get. And we're so lucky to have the exterior doors in all the classrooms and the open air campus so that we can walk in and out of buildings and have fresh ventilation and fresh air. This is all, our whole school feels very differently that first day of fall when the temperature drops, and we all are very excited about being outside. If we can just be patient and get to then instead of this 112, degree weather that we're having right now. So we're welcome to Greenfield. It really is a family. And just thank you in advance for your patience as we work through some of these things that we never ever dreamed that we would be a part of. So.
Ms. Powell, really quickly, someone asked about masks, so I figure we should probably talk with everybody about that. Someone said, are there rules about the mask? Can they wear the pull-up mask? I'm assuming you were referencing like the gator style that is like almost like a headband that you can wear over your face, and that's fine. As long as it covers their mouth and their nose, and it's a face covering, then that's fine. What we are saying is that we can't do the face shields because everything that we are hearing from CDC, health department, medical staff is that it's just not the same. And so it's not going to provide the level of protection for your child, other children, all the people in that classroom as a face covering, a cloth face covering would do. And so the gator style is fine. I know for little kids, lots of parents have gone out and got like the lanyard or the little clips so that we don't put the mask down and forget where we put it, or when they do get to go outside and take it off for just a brief moment, that way they can just keep it clipped to them at all times and put it up and down as they need to. And so I encourage y'all to think about that if you have a student who can never find their phone or can never find their homework or whatever, that way they can always know where that is.
Any other questions? Okay. All right. Thank y'all so much. We will see you 7:30 on August 17th. Thank you for your patience. If you have any questions about anything, please email us. That new student guide that you should have all gotten with the attachment, the invite to this Zoom, that is a wealth of information. And there's a very important page on there that says, if you have questions, ask the following people. All of the Greenfield emails are first name.last name@greenfieldschool.org. So if you know who can answer your question and you know how to spell their first and last name, then you should be able to email them. So reach out to any of us if you have any questions, and we are looking forward to the start of the school year. All right. Thank you.
Someone just asked, sorry, Ms. Powell. Someone just asked, can students have phones at school? All of our rules are in the handbook, but 7th through 12th grade can have phones on campus, and they can actually get their phones out at break and at lunch, and that's it. They really should not have their phone out. Once they get to homeroom and they get settled, they need to put their phone up, and then break and lunch are the only times they can have their phone out. If your student is in 6th grade and they're playing sports and they need to get hold of mom and dad, then there's phones all over campus. And I think as long as they leave it in their book bag, they never get it out, that's a different situation. But no smartwatches. If your student has a smartwatch, whether it's kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade, we do not allow that, particularly for tests, because that is basically a computer on your hand that is connected to a cell phone. And so that is just better left at home. And so that's a great question.
All right. Thank y'all. Have a good day. See you Monday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thanks. Bye-bye. Can you say thanks? Bye-bye.